Looks like a rough flu season ahead. Here are answers to all your flu questions. The 2017 to 2018 flu season is off to an early start, potentially hitting highs during the end-of-year holidays. Data so far suggests it could be a doozy. The predominant virus currently circulating tends to cause more cases of severe disease and death than other seasonal varieties. And the batch of vaccines for this year have some notable weaknesses. To help you prepare or just help you brush up on your flu facts, here are answers to every critical flu question you might ever have. Well, hopefully. We'll start off with the basics. What is the flu? The flu, or influenza, is a contagious respiratory infection caused by the influenza virus, not to be confused with Haemophilus influenzae, an opportunistic bacterium that can cause secondary infections following sicknesses, such as the flu. Symptoms of the flu include chills, fever, headache, malaise, running nose, sore throat, coughing, tiredness, and muscle aches. A little history: the flu virus gets its name from an Italian folk word that attributed colds, coughs, and fevers to the influence of the stars or astrological events. The term later evolved into influenza di freddo, or influence of the cold. Why does flu strike in the winter each year, anyway? Though flu viruses circulate all year long, they do spike in the cold of winter. And it's still not completely understood why. That said, researchers hypothesize that this spike is due to both changes in human behaviors and some biology. As the temperature outside drops, people tend to spend more time indoors with windows closed. There, they may be more likely to breathe in germy air and encounter sick people. Also, experiments in guinea pigs have shown that airborne flu viruses get around best when conditions are cold and dry, aka wintry. This is just the seasonal flu we're talking about. It's not that big of a deal, right? It is, actually. Seasonal flu epidemics cause 3 to 5 million cases of severe disease each year worldwide, leaving 300,000 to 500,000 dead, according to the World Health Organization. In the U.S., flu forces 140,000 to 710,000 people into hospitals and causes 12,000 to 56,000 deaths annually. The hardest hit are children, the elderly, and people with compromised immune systems. In general, how long is a person sick and contagious? Flu virus sickens and kills by getting into our airways and storming cells in the lining of our respiratory tracts. The virus forces its way into cells, usurps cellular machinery to make copies of itself, and the resulting clone army explodes out of the cell to march forth to the next cellular victims. After quietly running amok for 1 to 4 days, the incubation period, symptoms begin. In healthy adults, It usually takes 3 to 7 days to shake the infection. But, people can be infectious from a day prior to showing symptoms to 5 to 7 days after symptoms clear. Some flu viruses are worse than others, right? So, what are the different types of flu virus and what's up with all those numbers and letters? Flu viruses are in the order Myxoviridae family of viruses, which uses RNA as its genetic code, as opposed to DNA. The family includes 4 types of influenza that differ by the structural proteins that form their viral particles and support their RNA. The types are simply dubbed A, B, C, and D. Influenza and B are the big ones, both cause seasonal epidemics. Type of viruses are particularly dangerous because they can infect humans, several other mammals, and birds and jump between them. They easily morph and shift into new genetic forms, making them incredibly difficult to defeat. Type of viruses are responsible for flu pandemics. Influenza B viruses, on the other hand, only infect humans and seals. With their relative lack of host hopping, type B shows less genetic transformations and have not been linked to pandemics. Influenza C viruses infect humans, dogs, and pigs, and they have caused local outbreaks. But C viruses are currently not on a seasonal rotation. Influenza D viruses are relatively new to the family, first identified in the US in 2014. They infect cattle and pigs, but have not been seen in people. With their genetic shifting and switching, type of flu viruses are further broken down by the types of antigens they carry. Those are molecular components that can trigger our immune systems to recognize an invader and mount a defense. These antigens are hemagglutinin, HA or H, and neuraminidase, NA or N. These are the basis for virus names like H1N1 and H3N2. There are 18 subtypes of H's and 11 subtypes of N's, creating the possibility of 198 different combinations. But wait, there's more. Variations exist within each type of virus and even within each subtype of H and N, creating even more types of flu.